Hello everyone. We're going to continue with conditional formatting, example 2. This example is very easy, and the object of it's using top 10 highlights in Excel. Now mainly we use this one in case if you want to know the highest value, not the highest, I mean it can be used for the highest top 10, top 5, top 3 values within the list that you have. Imagine that you have a lot of data, you have a lot of materials, you want to know within the project that you have it, which of the material cost a lot. Now you want to just simply highlight the highly costed activities or materials or operation that you have it within the project that you have it, in order for the contractor to be aware that when it comes to that activity he needs a lot of money in his pocket because he's spending a lot because it's a costly activity. Remember, you have to, if you want to be a good engineer, you have to always help the one that you're working with to provide them comfort and give them warning or information before to prepare them when it comes to the point. So let's say that we have a data, simple things. Let's say those are some gender we have it and their value, cost, or their salary. We want to know who is going to get that, who are the top 3 highest yearly salaries and then the lowest yearly salary. To know, for example, simply how you're doing it. This has nothing related to civil engineering, just simply to how we apply those conditions. Now, we have the table here. So we said select the data first, conditional formatting. We're going to go for highlight the top rows here, top 10 and top 10 items. We're not going to go for percentage, we're going to go for the items according to the arrangement, which one is the highest, and according to the percentage. Percentage can be used for some purposes, but I'm just going to go for the items here. Top 10 items. It says top 10 item, but I can change that top 10 to top 3. For example, those are top 3 highest salary. I want them to be green. So I know, for example, those are the top highest 3 costs that I have it here. Press OK, and that's it. Within here, if any cost that changes, for example, this became something more, this will be the highest and the 2 next highest will be highlighted. So I can simply know that which one will be the set. Well, this is good because it updates itself while, for example, you finish the activities. The cost, you're just going to cross them. Okay, we spend that much. Let's say this activity, we spend that much, it is finished. So if this is finished, if this is, let's say this is finished here, this is finished, this is also finished, then you realize that the next third one will be highlighted. So we know that which one will be the third highly cost. Let's say salary, but I mean that is going to explain to us what's happening with the case that we have. The same manner, if I want to apply, I can just simply conditional formatting, top lowest we have at the bottom 10 items. I can make it 3 here. I want just 3 with a red light something. So I know that those are 3 lowest salary or the cost I have it within this table there. Now, I'm going to come back to the first example before going to example 3. I'm going to explain something. Now, how can I relate this one to this condition here? Now, let me say I have this condition here. Sorry. Control V. I believe I will have to use, okay, let's copy the equation as well. Now let me delete the condition here, clear the condition from the selected cell. Now there is no condition here. How could I apply this one? Now pay attention here. If I change B, that's automatically changed. Both of them change it, but this is the color change white depending on this one. Now pay attention. If I change this one, also the color should change. So this is depend on this value as well. This value does not affect the calculation, but affect the condition here. So how can I apply condition which depends on the cell here? This is more general. I can come here. This is when I say if it's smaller than or bigger, yes? There's 2 conditions, by the way. One if it's smaller, so I'm going to go highlight. When it's less than what here? I cannot write 200 here, because this 200 is only specific for this case. What if this is not 200? So I can do it in an easier way. Instead of typing, I can just simply come and click here. In that case, it always related to this one here. Press OK, and that's going to be the condition we have it there. So if it is smaller than this one, it's supposed to automatically, did I apply this? Manage rule. If it is less than, I want to make it, supposed to be green basically. So edit rule. The formatting here, I want it to be green basically. Make it green here. If it's small, it's be green for me. Let me change. This does not, sorry, it's small, it's bigger than that's why it does not give me any idea. So I have to apply the second one, which is, sorry, if it is greater than, so in this case, if it's greater than this, I want it to be red, so I know that there is something wrong. So if I change this one, I know that this is gonna change, and it's supposed to make it green as well, so I know that it's okay here. If I don't like this coloring, so just go back to the manage rule, I'll delete this one. I'll apply the rule again to be the one that I prefer to be. If it is less than, to be nicely the green with a dark green text. Instead of me selecting it, I can do it in this manner. So imagine that this is depend on this value here as well. Instead of typing it, I can select the cell. So automatically it changed by itself when calculation, and it changed when it is this value all changing. So this can be done as well. Now let's go for example 3. In example 3, this is where you have some fun and you're gonna learn something from me that you're never gonna ask your teacher again. Now the first say that highlight CVLE 101 grades if they are above average with green fill dark green text. Now above average is something that we're using it for a lot of purposes. When you're doing tests in the lab, there are always average limit that you must be above. So some that will be below average, some will be above average. So we want to know that those data, are they above average or below average? So expectation, normally this is in the quality control. In the quality control, daily when they're producing things, they always check their product. So whether it's cement, it's anything, it's not just for the construction materials, but anything, they have a daily check or batch. When they produce something, they will test them, and they have a threshold, a limit that if it is above these limits, they will accept it. If it's gonna highlight, if it is low, so they will know it. So they will change something in order to make the quality better. For us, let's say that for this purpose of this example, I'm an instructor and I want to know that who is above average. And you know that this is mainly our students' dilemma at the end of the semester, if I'm above average or not. They're always asking the teacher, what is the average? Am I passing? Am I failing? This is something that, let's talk about this. So above average, we want to say that highlight those are above average with green. So the selection is the procedure steps are the same. This is the course I'm having it. I'm gonna go to conditional formatting, top this one, and let's go above average. Above average, I want to make them mainly passing. Those are above average, and the rest of them, they have problem. Yes, for example, by the way, you don't know average here. Yes, and this is how our school system works. They don't provide average, but it calculates by itself. If I want to know average, I can calculate it. Yes, I know average function. Average. That's why the student keep asking the teacher what is the average, because they want to know that if they are below average or above average in order to be on the safe side. So let's see how much is the average here. Well, this takes a bit of time because of the recording screen. It's 58. 58. Now let's say this guy got something around 70. Now let's make it still simpler. 60. Okay. Now, this is the average. They want to know the average, and according to the average, basically they know if it's passing or failing. Let's say highlight the same one if they are below average this time with the yellow. So I'm gonna, well, let me make it red as well. So I'm gonna highlight them. By the way, I'm gonna change this yellow fill with dark yellow to red to be much clear. I'm gonna go for below average. Listen, to be red like this, to be high. Look, below average, I don't have any rule because it's already there. Excel is going to calculate the average of the selected data and it compare the values with the average, and if they are below average, they're going to highlight them. The question says that make them yellow, yellow filled with the dark, but I want it to be green, to be red so that I can see them easily. Now, let's say those are failing, those are passing here, yes, those are passing there. Now, let's say I have a student which is 55. Let's still, let's make this one 58. Let's make this one 70. As I'm explaining something. Okay. Now let's say this is the condition we have it here. Now, 70, those are basically, because average is 54, let's say that, but this is not how does it work in our school, by the way. It's somehow similar. Let's say that for those above below average, they're gonna fail. This guy, it's gonna fail. The rest of them are gonna pass. Now, let's say you are Jack. You're coming to me. You say, sir, my condition was bad. I couldn't do it in the exam. I had a lot of exams, 2 exams at the same time. You know this problem in our school or in exams. I said that, can you please give me some marks so that I need, this is gonna be C, I want it to be B. Now, most of the teachers, they will not listen to you. Why? They're not gonna listen to you. Why? Because if I give you mark, let's say that you are Jack, and you ask me to give you mark, I'll say that, okay, he wanted B. So in order to be B, I want to make this one to be 72 something. I want to make it 72. Now pay attention, what will happen. If I make 72, the average increased, yes, here, became 54. It didn't affect the other one. Another student comes here, I say, Harry, come to me, he said that, can you please, sir, make this one for me A? If I make it 85 for him, what happened to the average? In 57, and Charlie, poor Charlie, he has no idea what's going on. He's became below average, and if the condition is below average failing, he's gonna fail. Why? Just because Harry and Jack, they wanted, insisting that they wanted grades, they had bad conditions. So remember, you shall not ask your teacher, especially for me, I don't want any student at the end of the semester to come and ask me to give them mark. Why? Because of this condition here. If I give you mark, someone else will fail because of you. So don't take it personally if I don't give you mark. I'm thinking of the rest of the student because of this condition we have. So if you're asking mark, remember it is on someone else's life there. So why would I have to give you 85 to get A and someone else's, which is he struggled to get this 55 to pass and it's going to be failed now? That's not going to happen. So remember, average, this is, I went out of the topic here. I just told you that I don't want anyone to ask me at the end of the semester to give you mark. Remember, because of this condition. Giving mark, it is supposed to be according to what you deserve, and if I change anything, the other student will struggle, their grade is going to change. And in our school, it's much more complicated. It's working with pointing, so if you change something, the rest of the grading system is going to change. Everyone's grade is going to change, and why would I have to just for one purpose risk the rest of the gradings? That's why I'm not going to do it. Even if I'm good with student, I'm helping student, but when it comes to that point, we're not going to do it because of this condition. So remember this, above average is always depending on the things here. So if something changed, the rest of them automatically is going to up them. So let's say that daily you're going to check this one. Like this is for the students. Maybe you have a data, daily you input the data and you realize that today's average is this, some of them below, some of them above. So you can simply check above average, below average there. Now, one more things that we have it here, Now, in case if you have something which is exactly with average. Now, it says that below average, above average, yes? If there's something exactly, so if I make all of them 54 here, all of them, if I make them 54, sorry, let's make all of them 54. That's a rare case, but you realize that none of them will be highlighted. Why? because none of them above, none of them below average. They're equal to average. This is very rare condition, but sometimes it's possible that one of the values will be exactly as the average. So that one will not be highlighted. I couldn't make it because it's hard to make a condition that one of the values will be exactly as average. I made all of them to be as average so that all of them will be the same as average. Now none of them will be highlighted. There is condition, but the condition says above and below average. So how can I manage this one? How can I manage this one? I can go to conditional formatting, manage rules, and I'll change this one to worksheet. I have below average, above average. Yes, I'm going to edit this rule, and from there I can open this one. I say equal or above. So I want to add equal to the green side, to the passing side, so I can just simply equal or above. Like there is standard deviation above, below, we have it, and we're going to go for them. But remember those two, equal to or to below, or equal or above. So I need equal or above to be within the green side so that the O will be highlighted green. So in this case, if anything comes exactly to be the same as the average, also will be highlighted as green because it's acceptable there. Now those two, for the third one, I'm gonna make another video. Because it takes time, so I'm gonna stop here. Remember those two from this part here, for the top, bottom, I'm gonna only top 10, bottom 10, above average, below average. Those two are gonna work with the percentile. If you go for more rules, it's going to bring you here. You have other things that you can do with. By the way, I'm not going to explain. Some teachers, they explain from here. Why? Because I'm not intended to go a lot of things here. A lot of other things that can be used with functions, formulas, that you can write formula. If the formula is true, it's going to be those possible. But for those who are interested to do it out of the object of the course, I can always teach them how to use those techniques. If they have a condition in their head, for example, they're thinking, sir, how can I do this one? Sure, I can help them. Email me, text me somewhere, I can let you know how to do these things if you wish to. But for the rest, for the topics, or for the aim of this course, those things I'm explaining will be enough from there. So if you watch videos from other instructors, they will explain maybe from here, set a rule type. They prefer to do it here because there's a lot of versatility that they can do it from here that is not available with the ready ones. Remember this, please. Thanks for watching.